revenue, more spending, and more borrowing. First tonight, government's latest fiscal snapshot is in. Revenue and spending are up, but so is borrowing, with plans to take on another $300 million in debt. What does it mean for your wallet? We've got the breakdown. The controversy over the failed Exuma Moorings project isn't going away. Leaked documents reveal a 21-year lease quietly granted to a private company with ties to a senior government official. And now the opposition calling for heads to roll. A major drug bust in Grand Bahama. Police and customs officers uncover over $1 million worth of drugs hidden on a go-fast boat at a yacht club. How they found it and what happens next. Then in our news at 7:30, a much-needed break for grocery shoppers starting April 1st. VAT on unprepared food items will drop to just 5%. The Prime Minister doubles down on tax relief despite warnings from international watchdogs. What it means for your next food bill. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kendino Knowles. Prime Minister Philip Davis delivering the mid-year communication this morning, outlining the country's financial position with 6 months left in the current fiscal year. The mid-year snapshot shows that both revenue and expenditure are up as government looks to borrow $300 million. Berthany McDermott picks up the story from here, and he tells us what it may mean for already strapped taxpayer pockets.
As he delivered his mid-year budget communication, Prime Minister Philip Davis said that preliminary expenditure increased for the first 6 months of the year, but he says it was properly planned for the fiscal year. Parliamentarians heard that total expenditure is estimated at $1.8 billion, an increase of $278.3 million. Today, total expenditure represents 50.9% of the annual budget target. Key spending components include increased employee compensation, spending on the use of goods and services, government subventions, and
public debt interest payments were higher by $34.3 million and total $335.5 million.
And while expenditure is up, revenue is also up. The Prime Minister painted what appears to be an impressive fiscal position at the mid-year mark, explaining total revenue for the first 6 months of the year is estimated at $1.4 billion, a more than $138 million increase compared to the same time last year.
The revenue intake for the first half of this fiscal year stands as the highest revenue level this country has ever experienced for this period.
However, at the mid-year mark, Davis tabled a resolution authorizing the finance minister to borrow $300 million to fund national development objectives, including infrastructure development projects. Parliamentarians heard the resolution is to borrow the funds at the appropriate time.
Authorizes the minister to borrow by way of a government loan agreements or line of credit agreements.
The government is also acting as a guarantor for the University of the Bahamas, who is borrowing $25 million from the Bank of the Bahamas, the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute, who is borrowing $10 million from BOB, the Water and Sewage Corporation, who is borrowing $50 million from Scotiabank, and the Public Hospitals Authority, who is borrowing $75 million from CIBC First Caribbean Bank. This means the government is guaranteeing the funds borrowed will be repaid. Reporting for our news, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Berthany. The opposition quick to respond to the Prime Minister's mid-year budget communication, as you heard there. But coming up in our news at 7:30, our Delvado Emmanuel, he'll give us their perspective. Fallout from the failed Exuma Moorings project isn't letting up. This as F&M leader Michael Pintard slammed the Prime Minister today over his role in the controversy. Leaked documents reveal government granted a private company a 21-year lease for 4,000 acres of seabed to operate mooring services and collect fees. Another revelation that emerged was the Prime Minister's Deputy Director of Communications, Sandra Hilton Kemp, signed the lease as an agent for Bahamas Moorings Limited, where her husband, Philip Kemp II, is president. Pintard says the Prime Minister should fire any official involved in what he calls a secret deal.
No less than the Prime Minister's signature is on the document, so the Prime Minister cannot excuse himself from this matter and pretend as if he is the one that's ending this arrangement that does not pass the smell test. And so he has a lot of questions that he needs to answer. And if it is true that his most senior advisor is integrated fully in this matter, then the Prime Minister, to protect what is left of his reputation, has to part ways with his advisor.
Local officials in Exuma recently issued a cease and desist order, citing a lack of proper approvals. A statement from the Office of the Prime Minister Sunday confirmed the Davis administration held equity in Bahama's Moorings Limited and that Prime Minister Davis, as Minister for Lands, approved the lease. Just a day later, OPM announced the project was halted, but Pintard says his party won't let this be swept under the rug.
We believe that it's critical that the government have a full and transparent investigation into the matter. There are too many unanswered questions that strike at the heart of lack of accountability and transparency by the government and insider dealing and conflict of interest.
Now to Grand Bahama, where police seized over $1 million worth of drugs stashed on a boat in a joint operation with the Drug Enforcement Unit and Customs. Police say the massive discovery was made just after noon on a go-fast boat docked at Sir Charles Hayward Yacht Club. Chief Superintendent Will Hart is officer in charge of crime and operations for the Northern Bahamas. He shared what happened next.
The officers boarded the vessel where they saw 2 male Bahamians, one age 43 and age 40 on board. Acting on information, the officers started to search the boat, where they discovered a large quantity of suspected marijuana. The estimate weight is now 500 plus and a street value of 1.5 million.
A man convicted of multiple sexual offenses against a boy has been jailed pending sentencing. 30-year-old Basil McDonald broke down in tears after a jury unanimously convicted him of unlawful sexual intercourse and indecent assault. The 8-member jury accepted that in 2019 and 2020, McDonald molested the son of a family friend on multiple occasions. The victim was 8 and 9 when the incidents happened. According to the prosecution, McDonald moved in with the family in 2019 after he told them he needed a place to stay. He would often babysit his victim while his mother and older brother were out. The matter was reported to police in 2023 after the boy told his teacher that a man called Basil had sex with him. McDonald denied the allegations at his trial before Justice Gilomena Archer Mins. He's back in court on April 24th for sentencing. And as Carnival Corporation's Celebration Key is poised to transform Grand Bahama, a special edition of RTV Presents with Italia Hall explores the project's current and future impact. This after recent claims surfaced about Bahamian economic participation. Tonight at 8 p.m., a senior executive sits down for an in-depth conversation. We've got a preview of the show coming up in the next half hour, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Happy Hump Day, Greg.
Yeah, happy Hump Day to you too, and a beautiful day around the islands today. We did have a front go through yesterday, dropped some rainfall across portions of the Bahamas, but that is well to the south of us. But that brought in some nice and cool air mass. 75 degrees is what we feel, well, actual temperature actually. A few clouds outside. East-northeast winds, 40 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is a low 72 degrees. Temperatures around the islands right now at 74 in Freeport, 75 in Marsh, Harbour, Abaco, as well as in Allenstown, Bimini. We pick up 77s, Nichols, San Andros, Great Harbour Key, over in Governor's Harbour here in the capital, 75. Central Bahamas, 77, Kemps Bay, Georgetown, the Exumas, Deadman's Key, Long Islands, pair of 74s in Arthurstown, Cat Island, Coben Townsend, Salvador, and into the Southeast Bahamas. 79, Duncantown, Ragged Island, Matthewtown, Inagua, and a string of 77s in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, Abrahams Bay, as well as in Providenciales, Tricks, and Caicos Islands at this hour. Satellite radar composite, nothing to talk about. A dry air mass is in place. That frontal boundary that moves through the chain of islands is well to the south of us across Hispaniola. Some clouds and isolated showers possible down near the Inagua and the Turks and Caicos Islands, but as that system continues to push towards the east, high pressure will continue to dominate our weather. We're looking for some beautiful weather for the balance of the week, and then we expect 2 fronts, one coming in on Saturday and another one the early part of next week to reinforce these conditions we've been having. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, we got baseball in the Dominican Republic, and beach soccer continues to prepare for the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships.
It's the first exclusive destination just for Carnival Cruise Line guests. Celebration Key in Grand Bahama, a multi-million-dollar project expected to help kickstart Grand Bahama's long-crippled economy. But questions are already coming about who will benefit, how much, and how soon. Atalia Hall asks those critical questions in a special RTV Presents, Wednesday, February 26th at 8 p.m., only on RTV.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Every year, we see Bahamians sign minor league baseball contracts in January, and a pivotal part of that process is training and showcasing for scouts in the Dominican Republic.
International Elite Sports Academy continued its recent tradition of taking its student athletes to live and train with some of the top international prospects in the Caribbean and Latin America. I-Elite participated in games against some of the top prospects from the Dominican Republic and Venezuela and were invited to several private showcases.
Preparations continue for Team Bahamas as they prepare to host the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships for the 4th time.
The Malcolm Park Beach Soccer facility will host top sides in the region March 11th to 16th. The 8 teams will be looking to earn one of 2 qualification spots for the 2025 FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup in Seychelles. The Bombers will compete in Group B alongside the United States, Panama, and Trinidad and Tobago. Group A includes Mexico, El Salvador, Costa Rica, and Guatemala. The tournament will kick off with group stage play followed by the knockout stage, which will include the semifinals on March 15th and the third place match and final on Sunday, March 16th.
The first week of the NCAA Conference Championship season is underway, and Bahamians are already having some of the most impactful performances for their respective programs.
Raymond Oriaki had a team MVP performance for his Chicago State Cougars in the program's first appearance at the NEC Indoor Track Championship in Staten Island, New York. In addition to being named men's MVP, Oriaki was also named the most outstanding track performer after he won the 60-meter hurdles in 7.95 seconds and was third in the 400 in 48.44 seconds.
That will do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as egg prices set to soar. The USDA now warns of a 41% spike. Plus, the U.S. tariff pause is over. President Trump says new import taxes on Canada and Mexico will take effect next month. This as critics warn of rising costs and slower growth. And a deadly turn for Haiti's multinational security mission. A Kenyan officer shot and killed in a gang confrontation, marking the first casualty for the force. Find out what's next for the mission when our news returns. The first exclusive destination just for Carnival Cruise Line guests. Celebration Key in Grand Bahama, a multi-million-dollar project expected to help kickstart Grand Bahama's long-crippled economy. But questions are already coming about who will benefit, how much, and how soon. Atalia Hall asks those critical questions in a special RTV Presents, Wednesday, February 26th at 8 p.m., only on RTV. Candino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the Our News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
The City of Miami Gardens presents JITG Music Fest. New edition. Tony Braxton. DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Live. Starring Ja Rule, Fat Joe, and Remy Ma. Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. Beanie Man. Escape, Coco Jones. Kim. Also, a special set featuring Miss Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, YG Marley, Busta Rhymes, Doechii, and many more. JITG Music Fest. March 8th and 9th at Hard Rock Stadium. Tickets at jazzinthegardens.com.
Tune in to Hot 91.7 for your chance to win a trip to Jazz in the Gardens.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Prices set to skyrocket this year, with the USDA predicting a 41% jump. That's more than double its earlier forecast of 20%. The culprit is bird flu. The outbreak has hit commercial egg farms hard, with nearly 19 million egg-laying hens affected in January alone. Prices already climbing. In January, eggs were up 53% from a year earlier, hitting an average of $4.95 a dozen. Wholesale prices up 40 cents in just 30 days. Experts warn there's no relief in sight as the virus continues to spread. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump says tariffs on Canada and Mexico will start next month, ending a 30-day suspension on the import taxes. The move could fuel inflation and slow economic growth, but Trump insists the tariffs will create jobs and boost revenue. At a White House press conference this week, Trump confirmed the tariffs are on schedule for April. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum hopes to strike a deal before the deadline, while French President Emmanuel Macron urged against a trade war, calling for more prosperity instead. The plan includes 25% tariffs on Mexican imports and lower rates for Canadian energy products. Businesses and economists warn of rising costs, but Trump says it's about fair competition and national security.
Anybody that would agree to allow this to happen to our country should be ashamed of themselves. No, the tariffs are going forward on time, on schedule. This is an abuse that took place for many, many years. And I'm not even blaming the other countries that did this. I blame our leadership for allowing it to happen.
A federal judge blocked immigration enforcement at certain houses of worship Monday, ruling that the Trump administration's policy could violate religious freedom. The injunction applies to Quakers, a Georgia-based Baptist network, and Sikh Temple in California. The lawsuit challenges a policy allowing agents to conduct operations in places of worship without supervisor approval, reversing long-standing protections. Plaintiffs argue the policy has scared immigrants away from services. Government lawyers say the rule change simply removes a bureaucratic step, but the case still unfolding in court. And a Kenyan police officer deployed in Haiti has been killed in a confrontation with gang members, marking the first casualty for the Kenyan-led multinational security support mission. Police Constable Samuel Kitwai was shot during an operation in Ponson and later died in hospital. MSS officials called the 26-year-old a fallen hero and vowed to pursue the gangs responsible. Despite reinforcements, the force remains outgunned by gangs armed with weapons reportedly smuggled from the United States. The mission's future remains uncertain as U.S. funding also facing political hurdles. Still to come on our news, Today in History. Find out interesting facts about the day that was February 26th. Then in our news at 7:30, the opposition leader slams government spending, questioning where's the money. We'll tell you the scathing review as Pintard says spending is out of control and Bahamians feeling no relief. And Celebration Key set to transform Grand Bahama. Tonight, an RTV exclusive with the senior Carnival exec uncovering big opportunities for the island. RTV Presents with Italia Hall breaks down what this multi-million-dollar project means for the local economy. When our news returns.
It's the first exclusive destination just for Carnival Cruise Line guests. Celebration Key in Grand Bahama, a multi-million-dollar project expected to help kickstart Grand Bahama's long-crippled economy. But questions are already coming about who will benefit, how much, and how soon. Italia Hall asks those critical questions in a special RTV Presents, Wednesday, February 26th at 8 p.m., only on RTV.
Presents JITG Music Fest. New edition. Tony Braxton. DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Live. Starring Ja Rule, Fat Joe, and Remy Ma. Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. Beanie Man. Escape. Coco Jones. Kem. Also, a special set featuring Miss Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, YG Marley, Busta Rhymes, Doechii, and many more. JITG Music Fest. March 8th and 9th at Hard Rock Stadium. Tickets at jazzinthegardens.com.
Tune in to Hot 91.
On this day in Bahamian history in 1835 was the arrival of William Colebrook in Nassau to assume his duties as Lieutenant Governor of the colony. His appointment, dating back to September 9, 1834, lasted until he was appointed governor of the Leeward Islands in 1837. During his tenure, Colebrook actively pursued administrative reforms, particularly in the realms of education and prison management. Colebrook Lane in downtown Nassau stands as a memorial to his contributions. Then in 1861, tragedy struck as 5 brave souls lost their lives in a valiant attempt to rescue 2 sailors adrift from Nassau Harbor. In their honor, an obelisk was erected on Nassau Harbor's western esplanade along West Bay Street. The inscription of the monument commemorates the selfless heroism of Thomas Eden, Felix Booby, Joshua Edwards, Isaac Knowles, and Joseph Henry Strawn, who all perished in the line of duty. February 26, 1955, marked a significant royal visit as Princess Margaret came to the Bahamas, which was one stop on her tour of the West Indies. The Bahamas General Hospital, which was built in 1952, was renamed Princess Margaret Hospital in honor of her visit. And 11 years later, in 1966, was another historic royal visit as then Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, embarked on their inaugural journey to the Bahamas. The 2-day visit was part of a broader tour of the Crown colonies of the Caribbean. The royal family's links to the country were further strengthened by regular royal visits throughout Her Majesty's reign. All right, St. John's College community in celebration mode following their junior Junkanoo and BAI-SS basketball wins over the last 2 months. The school held a special assembly this week to celebrate. Sasha Lightbourne was there. She's got a recap.
Dub Giant Pride Week, students, faculty, staff, and administrators at St. John's College are in a celebration mode following their junior Junkanoo win last month and their wins in the junior boys, junior girls, and senior boys BAI-SS basketball championships. This week, several events are planned leading up to their motorcade for Friday throughout the streets of New Providence. Today, a special assembly was held to honor the participants and athletes.
Going into it, it was like, yeah, we're going to win because we obviously put in the hard work, so we knew that we were coming with the victory.
It was a surreal feeling just to know that we powered through and we did it. Practice over the season. We lost one of our players due to a broken leg in January. So to know that we could come back from that was really good.
For the senior boys to not win since 2019, it feels good for us first-year seniors to win the championship and achieve our goal.
12th grader Gabrielle Baffle was a choreographed dancer with the Junior Junkanoo group. She said they knew they secured the bag after their first lap on Bay.
By the time we were finished with the first lap, going on to the second lap, we kind of knew that it was over with. We had too much excitement and too much energy not to win.
Principal Quinn McCartney says it's always good to develop the whole student, not just academically, but through sports and culture.
We pride ourselves on providing holistic education, so it's also a focus on academics, it's focused on the spiritual aspect of it, as well as sports and all of the other areas of the total development of our children. And so today showcases the talents, the many talents we have at St. John's College. And so we're extremely proud of our students as well as our teachers. They're doing a fantastic job.
Several events are planned for the rest of the week, with the grand finale being Mardi Gras. That's set for Saturday. Reporting for our news, I'm Sasha Lightborn.
All right, good stuff. Thank you so much for that, Sasha. Well, Hot 91 and our news are teaming up to get you to this year's Jazz in the Gardens, March 8th and 9th, featuring Lauryn Hill, New Edition, Tony Braxton, Beanie Man, and so much more. So you've got to be sure and listen into Hot 91 weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. for Jazz in the Gardens code phrase. Now, once you hear the code phrase, you've got to head over to hot91fm.com or the Music Media 242 app contest page to enter to win. The winners receive round-trip tickets, hotel, and concert tickets for you and a friend. And be sure to look out for the Our News team if you're there, if you're the lucky winner, to tell us all about your experience. It's the Jazz in the Gardens Fly Away promotion. All right, if you want to learn more about that and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs and, of course, Our News Bahamas on Facebook. Going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now, Megan Shepherd with the latest headlines. Megan, have you been to Jazz in the Gardens before?
I have not been before.
You know what? Now I don't feel so bad because that's two of us. Talia was here last night bragging about last year, how her and Nate were there having a ball. But hey,
this my kind of lineup too.
I wish we could enter this contest with Hot 91 to win those tickets. But
I think so. We'll throw our tickets in our hats for next year.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you so much for that. Well, still to come tonight, the opposition leader slams government spending. Plus, an Our TV exclusive adds a celebration key set to transform Grand Bahama. Here are your latest headlines.
First tonight, down to 5%. The Prime Minister announcing that in just over a month, VAT is set to decrease on unprepared food, a move contrary to a recent IMF report. The mid-year budget comes back into focus tonight as taxpayers keeping a close watch. Plus, out-of-control spending and no relief for the Bahamian people. The opposition leader calling the Davis administration's budget all smoke and mirrors and questions, where's the money? And then, poised to transform the island of Grand Bahama. Tonight, our Italia Hall speaks exclusively to Carnival Corporation executives on the expected economic impact. It's a special Our TV Presents. And later, the PM breaks his silence. He says government is moving to develop a new national strategic plan for the management of moorings. These stories and so much more when Our News Live at 7:30 returns.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
Diet-friendly special.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is ready to give you a summer of fun with over $20,000 in cash and prizes. Upgrade your premium lunch combo to a medium or a large, or purchase a large salad with a Coke for a chance to win amazing prizes like a 50-inch TV and soundbar, a staycation at Comfort Suites, or a $3,000 Going Places travel voucher. Enter online at Wendy's Bahamas Facebook page for a chance to win.
Welcome to our news, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard in for Italia Hall. Well, effective April 1st, you should expect some relief at your local grocery store. This as Prime Minister Philip Davis announcing this morning that value-added tax will decrease to 5% on unprepared food items. This revelation made during his mid-year budget communication this morning. Now, back in January, the Prime Minister announced that a 50% reduction in VAT on all food sold in food stores would take effect April 1st. Well, today, Davis explaining that despite recommendations from international watchdogs, VAT will decrease again.
Going down on VAT again, despite what they say. So when you Google it now, they say Google it. When you Google the IMF report, that's right. You can see where they're telling me to raise some more things. Well, see what I'm doing now.
Parliamentarians saw an increase in VAT revenues for the first 6 months of the year, despite decreasing VAT from 12 to 10%. The finance minister estimates VAT collection will be up 71% in the first half of the fiscal year. You may recall that last year, the International Monetary Fund recommended the government increase VAT to 15%, but government decided against the recommendation.
Hell to the no. Let me put it this way. Let me just put it this way. Let me put it this way, right? Let me put it this way. It was their recommendation. They recommended it. It was for me to decide whether I'd accept it. I didn't accept it.
Well, meantime, in a scathing review of the Davis administration's mid-year budget report, opposition leader Michael Pintard is accusing government of mismanaging the country's finances. Our Delvado Emmanuel puts up the story from here.
This budget, in terms of content, was weak. So the Prime Minister is going backwards. Each year, the luster is wearing off. The PR machinery is doing less and less to help them.
Opposition leader Michael Pintard did not hold back in his response to Prime Minister Philip Davis' mid-year budget statement, calling it a smoke and mirrors presentation that fails to address the real economic challenges Bahamians face.
Fail to provide relief for the cost of living, fail to provide a pathway for sustainable economic growth and development, and failure to show how they have governed in a fiscally responsible manner and how they have been transparent with what they do with your money.
Pintard argues that while the government continues to spend excessively, Bahamians are not seeing tangible benefits.
His strategies are not targeting the 90% of Bahamians who have less than $1,000 in the bank. And this is the critical group that he has to focus more on.
Shadow Minister for Finance Kwesi Thompson also had his own questions about the steep increase in capital expenditure.
Capital expenditure only increased by $82 million, but recurrent expenditure increased by $192 million. What was the cause or what was the reason for the increase of the $192 million?
While not impressed with Davis's communication, he said the 5% VAT reduction on unprepared food items is a step in the right direction. However, Pentard says it's not enough.
He embraced that on behalf of the Bahamian people, but they haven't gone far enough. Remember, this is the same prime minister who said that, we are not about the status quo. But they are still tinkering around the edges. And they're tinkering around the edges because the pressure is on this administration to deliver, and they've failed up to this point.
Reporting for our news, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Thank you so much for that, Delvado. Well, turning now to Grand Bahama's economy, as Carnival Corporation's Celebration Key is poised to transform the island. In a special edition of Our TV Presents with Italia Hall, she speaks with a senior executive about the multi-million-dollar project and its impact on the local economy. Let's take a look.
With some 379 acres, Carnival Celebration Key is projected to welcome nearly 4 million guests annually by 2028. It's a move many residents are looking forward to. The port is slated to open on July 19th. Senior Vice President of Government and Destination Affairs Marie McKenzie explained that substantial investment has already been committed to the project.
We started with one pier that will take 2 ships and realized that pier is booked 365 days of the year. Every day that pier is booked. So we decided this is not enough. So now we're building a second pier.
The interview also addressed concerns from the Grand Bahama business community. A recent viral video had claimed that local vendors were being sidelined, but McKenzie revealed the individual raising the issue never submitted a proposal and missed the vendor deadline.
Regrettably, even though I have been asked to re-entertain a proposal from this young lady, if I were to consider her, I would also have to consider others who may have missed the deadline, because again, we're trying to be consistently fair to presenting an opportunity to all. We do have a straw market vendor, that proposal, which is what she missed. We are now already in evaluation of those proposals that were already presented.
On the job creation front, Carnival's project is expected to generate 700 jobs for Grand Bahamans. She says the current team, including executives, are Bahamans.
We have 40 people so far, just over 40 people hired, or almost 50, because we're hiring every day, that have been hired in our office in Grand Bahama. And over 65% of those are from Grand Bahama. And so far, we brought 10 people home.
As for opportunities for vendors,
had over 300 applications so far for many of the retail and food and beverage opportunities that are there. Over 75% of those will be Bahamian.
Addressing skepticism over past projects on the island, McKenzie assured that Carnival is deeply committed to the island's future.
So Carnival has made a total investment, or is making a total investment of over $1 billion in Grand Bahama. We are not leaving Grand Bahama. This project is absolutely happening. It is happening, and everyone in Grand Bahama needs to be prepared.
Reporting for our news, I'm Italia Hall.
Thanks so much, Italia. Now, to see more of our exclusive sit-down, stay tuned for our full half-hour special tonight at 8 p.m. on Our News. An exclusive edition of Our TV Presents, the story of Carnival's Celebration Key with Italia Hall. Well, days after the government canceled a lease agreement with the Bahama Moorings Limited, Prime Minister Philip Davis told Parliament how his government plans to move forward. Bahama Moorings was spearheading an approved project for the installation of 250 moorings over 4,000 acres of seabed at 49 locations in the Exuma chains. But some Exuma natives say they were blindsided. This, as Davis says, government is moving to develop a new national strategic plan for the management of moorings.
This have traditionally been handled ad hoc, and at one time within the existing legal and regulatory framework. But our science and technology and the climate are all in flux. We can benefit from updating and more clearly defining and implementing our country's policies. We intend to move forward quickly, seek advice and input from citizens, local government officials, boaters, fishermen, marine owners, marine conservation experts, and others.
Davis referenced comments by Exuma Chamber of Commerce President Aaron Hanna, who lamented the missteps taken on the deal, but said he wanted a successful mooring system at Elizabeth Harbor in collaboration with Bahamas National Trust.
and he will be one of my first calls. We have an important opportunity to update our country's policies with an openness to new solutions. Although, of course, we'll start from the non-negotiable premise that the Bahamas is a sovereign nation, and if you enter our jurisdiction, you will compensate the Bahamians for doing so.
A judge has denied bail to a fisherman facing multiple charges stemming from a deadly shooting at his home. Defense lawyers say Delico McPhee, also known as Fire, was acting in self-defense when he killed Jamal Forbes and tried to kill Lubins Fenilis on April 28, 2024. But prosecutors say the evidence doesn't support this. The incident happened at McPhee's apartment in Royal Palm Estates that he shared with his girlfriend, radio personality, and social media influencer Sherelle Duncombe, also known as Roxy Star and Jefferson Store. McPhee is charged with murder, attempted murder, possession of an unlicensed firearm, possession of ammunition, and drug possession with intent to supply. Police allegedly found 714 pounds of marijuana on the premises while investigating the shooting. McPhee is charged along with Duncombe and Store in relation to the drug discovery. His co-accused are free on bail. Well, we've still got lots more news to share with you tonight, but first we check in with meteorologist Greg Thompson for a check on temperatures. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Megan. Beautiful day around the islands. Frontal boundary has pushed down towards the south and is now across the Hispaniola area, but it brought in some nice cooler temperatures. 74 degrees is our temperature right now. We fell off a degree earlier. Few clouds, east winds actually, 14 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 72. Satellite radar composite quiet across the area. We do have some lingering clouds and some spotty showers, mainly just west of Andros. But that frontal boundary, as I mentioned, down near Hispaniola will continue to push towards the southeast. High pressure builds in, looking for two fronts, one coming on Saturday and another one on Monday. So we are going to reinforce these nice conditions over the next several days. That's a quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast. Still to come.
Still to come on our news, increased investment. The GBPA reports a surge of interest from local entrepreneurs and foreign direct investors. Our weekly City in Focus segment explores. Plus, what makes you a true Bahamian? A former NFL player shares his love for the Bahamas, the place he calls his second home thanks to his Bimini roots. We've got the details on these stories when our news returns.
Inti Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, Inti redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. Inti is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as Inti Corporation shines brighter than ever. Inti Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
Once I had a gal, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Cowboy Town.
It's the first exclusive destination just for Carnival Cruise Line guests. Celebration Key in Grand Bahama, a multi-million-dollar project expected to help kickstart Grand Bahama's long-crippled economy. But questions are already coming about who will benefit, how much, and how soon. Atalia Hall asks those critical questions in a special RTV Presents, Wednesday, February 26th at 8.
Well, tonight on our City in Focus segment, sponsored by the Grand Bahama Port Authority, we take you inside the Customer Relations Department. And officials are saying there's been lots of interest in Grand Bahama. Italia Hall reports.
The Customer Relations Department at the Grand Bahama Port Authority doesn't just focus on issuing licenses and training the local community. They also actively engage with investors and anyone interested in the island. Business Development Officer Charmaine Johnson explains there's been a surge of interest not only from entrepreneurs locally, but foreign direct investors.
There was somebody who visited the island from Canada and immediately saw the potential for business. And we had a pop-up meeting with him. He explained what his product offering was, and we were able to guide him in the process should he, decide to go ahead and pursue his license with us.
To promote Freeport, a series of initiatives have been launched, including a recent trade mission to Houston and Canada. Johnson noted as a result of the Houston trip, several investors are now planning to come to Grand Bahama based on initial discussions.
So they're coming really to experience what we have been talking about and sharing and explaining as far as what the investment opportunity is. When you look at the American climate right now for investment, we represent political stability in the Bahamas compared to so many other global areas, and that was one of the reassurances with investors, business owners.
As it relates to the Canadian market?
The Canadian market, I will say the interest right now seems to be real estate. Persons are looking in that area.
And these trade mission trips are both strategic and well planned.
Which means relationship building with our partners, which include, and I'll get to that, a lot of the embassies of the Bahamas. So we reach and make partnerships with them to arrange particular meetings with businesses, organizations that they are aware of.
As for why these initiatives are important,
when people hear about what we have to offer and then they're able to come and experience it, I can tell you we've never had a disappointing moment.
Reporting for our news, I'm Italia Hall.
Coming up in sports, we got baseball, beach soccer preparation, and of course, an update in NCAA track and field.
Bahama Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is producing work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Presents JITG Music Fest. New edition. Tony Braxton. DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Live. Starring Ja Rule, Fat Joe, and Remy Ma. Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. Beanie Man. Escape, Coco Jones. Kim. Also a special Special set featuring Miss Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, YG Marley, Busta Rhymes, Doechii, and many more. JITG Music Fest, March 8th and 9th at Hard Rock Stadium. Tickets at jazzinthegardens.com.
Tune in to Hot 91.7 for your chance to win a trip to Jazz in the Gardens.
Welcome to Our Sports presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Every year we see Bahamians sign minor league baseball contracts in January, and a pivotal part of that process is training and showcasing for scouts in the Dominican Republic.
International Elite Sports Academy continued its recent tradition of taking its student athletes to live and train with some of the top international prospects in the Caribbean and Latin America. The students were housed at the former Cincinnati Reds complex at Baseball City in Boca Chica. The Baseball City complex also includes academies from several major league teams. I-Elite participated in games against some of the top prospects from the Dominican Republic and Venezuela and were invited to several private showcases. Both events gave them valuable exposure in front of scouts from all 30 MLB teams.
Preparations continue for Team Bahamas as they prepare to host the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships for the 4th time.
The Malcolm Park Beach Soccer facility will host top sides in the region March 11th to 16th. The 8 teams will be looking to earn one of 2 qualification spots for the 2025 FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup in Seychelles. The Bahamas will compete in Group B alongside the United States, Panama, and Trinidad and Tobago. Group A includes Mexico, El Salvador, Costa Rica, and Guatemala. The tournament will kick off with group stage play followed by the knockout stage, which will include the semifinals on March 15th and the 3rd place match and final on Sunday, March 16th. The Junkanoo Beach Boys will open the competition against Panama on Tuesday, March 11th at 8 p.m. The Bahamas also previously hosted the event in 2023, 2017, and 2013.
With the new coach coming in, the mindset is just like he wants us 100% committed. Like he used the analogy like on the school bus, and having all of us like committed on the school bus, prepared to like give it our all. And the older guys, more experienced guys, they bring experience, and the new guys just bring more effort and energy to push the guys to want to do more.
The first week of the NCAA Conference Championship season is underway, and Bahamians are already having some of the most impactful performances for their respective programs. Raymond Oriaki had a team MVP performance for Chicago State Cougars in the program's first appearance at the NEC Indoor Track Championship in Staten Island, New York. In addition to being named men's MVP, Oriaki was also named the most outstanding track performer after he won the 60-meter hurdles in 7.95 seconds and was 3rd in the 400 in 48.44 seconds. Following the meet, he improved on those times with a new PR and program record at the Silverstein Invitational at the University of Michigan. He also lowered his 60-meter hurdles time to 7.9 seconds to finish first. It was the 4th time he lowered the school record for the season. That'll do it for Our Sports. Between basketball, FIBA, and now BAISS track and field coming up, I don't think there's any time to rest. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight, more pleas for both factions of the Valley Boys to unite. We'll tell you which former NFL player is weighing in. But first, Greg Thompson steps back into the Weather Center. He's got your extended weather forecast. That's coming up when our news returns.
Deserves to be celebrated.
The City of Miami Gardens presents JITG Music Fest. New edition. Tony Braxton. DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Live. Starring Ja Rule, Fat Joe, and Remy Ma. Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. Beanie Man. Escape. Coco Jones. Kim. Also, a special set featuring Miss Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, YG Marley, Busta Rhymes, Doechii, and many more. JITG Music Fest. March 8th and 9th at Hard Rock Stadium. Tickets at jazzinthegardens.com.
Tune in to Hot 91.7 for your chance to win a trip to Jazz in the Gardens.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me
happy to come to work every day to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication.
This is Our News. Welcome back. If you didn't get a chance to get outside earlier today, you missed it. Very nice conditions. A frontal boundary moves through down near the Hispaniola area now. High pressure and a dry air mass moving in across the area. We're going to continue to enjoy these beautiful conditions as that high continues to bring us some dry air mass across our area. And we continue to see temperatures stay near the 80-degree mark during the daytime hours. Nighttime temperatures will be in the upper 60s to possibly even the low 70s. Future forecast showing dry conditions across the area. That moisture with that frontal boundary still down near the southeast Bahamas. Well, actually, well to the east of us. We could have some lingering moisture across the northwest Bahamas as a little disturbance moves across that area, but that high will stay with us through Friday and into Saturday. And once again, as I mentioned, we expect a frontal boundary getting here sometime by Saturday and another one by early next week. If you plan on being on the waters night through tomorrow, should be nice. The winds in the northwest Bahamas, southeasterly at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and rebel at times, seas 2 to 4 feet. Tide is presently high. Your low tide will be at 12:44 in the morning. Your next high tide 7:01 in the morning. Central and southeast Bahamas, east to southeast flow down there, 10 to 15 knots, seas running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, beautiful conditions for the next few days. We should see temperatures, as I mentioned, stay near the 80-degree mark. Nighttime temperatures in the low 70s. Front gets in here sometime Saturday into Sunday. That should clear out. Nice temperatures once again for the early part of next week. And looks as though we may get another front by Wednesday time frame. Megan?
All right, thanks so much, Greg. And just a few minutes ago, Candino and I were very sad that we will be missing Jazz in the Gardens. But a little birdie told me, no, wifey said you have to take her, right?
Wifey went already.
Oh, you're left behind with us.
Yeah, so I didn't get to enjoy the first one. But I'm hoping she gets to take me this time.
We'll find,
we'll see.
Find it online. We'll have a party here.
Yeah, we'll see.
Perfect, right. Well, if you want to be a part of that party live in person, Hot 91 and Our News are teaming up to get you to this year's Jazz in the Gardens, March 8th and 9th, featuring Lauryn Hill, New Edition, Tony Braxton, Beanie Man, and more. Be sure to listen in to Hot 91 weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. for the Jazz in the Gardens code phrase. Once you hear it, head over to hot91fm.com or the Music Media 242 app contest page to enter. The winner receives round-trip tickets, hotel and concert tickets for you and a friend. Be sure to look out for the Our News team to tell us all about your experience. It's the Jazz in the Gardens Flyaway promotion. Definitely want to hear about the experiences. Now, drafted to the NFL in 2001, this popular athlete you're about to hear from has shattered multiple records in the National Football League. But did you know he also considers himself a true Bahamian? Our Danielle Miller ends this hour in an exclusive chat with Chad Ochocinco Johnson, who has been visiting the Bahamas since the mid-'80s. Take a look.
For the record, can you tell us who you are and where you're from? No, I'm just joking. Now, you mentioned that you were coming to the Bahamas from 1984 for Junkanoo, but tell me exactly how you found out about your Bahamian heritage.
My Bahamian heritage started with my grandfather, James Neville Flowers. He's from Bimini. I would come out here for New Year's as a little kid on Chalks. Remember Chalks? Chalk Seaplane?
For those watching that may not know who he is, this is Chad Ochocinco Johnson. Born in Miami, Florida, he is a decorated former wide receiver in the NFL, played for the Cincinnati Bengals and the New England Patriots. His career highlights include 6-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, AFC champion, NFL receiving yards leader, and much more. Recently, the former athlete secured another career touchdown by pivoting to the role of media personality. Currently, he is a panelist on the show Inside the NFL and a co-host on the viral podcast Nightcap with former NFL player Shannon Sharp. But amongst all of his accolades, he says having Bahamian heritage is one of those he's most proud of.
You know, I love the Saxon, I love the roots, I love one family, all of them. But I'm Valley till death.
Beyond Junkanoo, Chad says it is his passion to establish a strong presence in the local community, investing in the country through initiatives, ultimately playing his position in becoming a true Bahamian. For that exclusive interview, tune into Thursday's broadcast. Reporting for our news, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, well, thank you for that, Danielle, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. We'll see you right back here tomorrow evening. Have a safe and wonderful night. And be sure to stay tuned as Our TV presents the story of Carnival's Celebration Key with Italia Hall starting right now. Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button if you'd like to see more content like this. Follow all of the Our News social media pages so you never miss out on the top stories from